Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So, I thought, since I just read all 6 books of The Prophecies Begins, I thought, what if I ranked them? Because, people like things to be ranked. They liked what is the worst thing and what is the best thing. People like to know, so I thought I would do that. So, I'm going to be ranking the first arc of Warrior Cats from worst to best. Just a disclaimer, this does not mean these books are bad. This is only, are they bad in comparison to the other books? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think any of these books are bad. I think the first arc is overall a really good arc for what it is, and I'll talk about that in a future video. But, I really like the first arc, and there really isn't a bad book, like, objectively. It's more so just, like, compared to each other, which one is least interesting, which one is most interesting, which one is quality compared to others. With all that out of the way, let us begin. So the worst book, number 6, of The Prophecies Begins, in my opinion, is Fire and Ice. Now, Fire and Ice, again, I don't think it's a bad book. I think, as far as continuing off of the first book and continuing to build up this world and this, overarching story, I think it does a good job. There's a lot of interesting elements that are introduced, like, Wind Clan is, finally introduced and expanded upon. Grey Stripe's love story is kind of, introduced and not really expanded upon, which is kind of a detriment. We get more of a crisis point, and I think overall it does do a good job. Now here is the problem. The problem that book 2 has is the fact that Firestar, or Fireheart at the time, is not very smart in it. He kind of knows, based on what Ravenpaw told him, that Tigerstar is not a good person, and is probably evil. And the book ends with Fireheart realizing that Tiger Claw is probably evil and not a good person. There are so many clues, with Cinderpaw, and with how he treats other characters, and how he specifically treats, Fireheart and Greystripe, that Tiger Claw is not a good person, and yet for some reason it takes the entire book for him to come to the same conclusion. Seriously, you did not need to do that, but it happens, and, it's unfortunate. But, after that, it's only one book that is kind of stupid, and, he gets better as the time goes on. So number 5 is Into the Wild. Now again, I don't think these books are bad. Into the Wild is a really great book. The only problem is, there are better books. Later books in the series, I think, are significantly better in terms of what they're offering. But again, this is not indicative of its bad quality. It has incredible quality. It introduces us to the world, to the characters, to the story. It's incredibly gripping, and just, it's a great story. The reason it's at number 5 is, like I said, there are better stories, as well as due to the fact that, unfortunately, with only 6 things to rank, something has to be here. And, well, that's Into the Wild. At number 4, we have A Dangerous Path. This is the 5th book, and I think I do really like Dangerous Path. I like how it kind of, delves more into, the psyche of Blue Star. It kind of, once again, kickstarts the, overarching, Tiger Star plot into gear. The Tiger Star reveal that is, expanded on this book is brilliant. The fact that he's now leader of an opposing clan, the, token evil clan, which is a little problematic, but we're not really going to talk about that. Just overall, the way they build up the story and, build up this, omnipresent threat without ever really, showing the threat. The dogs are slowly built up over the course of the story. With that said, I would like it if the dogs were just a little more present, but overall, I think it works for what it's trying to do, and hence why it's at this spot. Number 3 is book number 3, Forest of Secrets. Forest of Secrets is basically, the Secrets revealed book. Everything is revealed. We get more explanation as to Tiger Claw's motivations, why he does what he does. We finally get the revelation about Blue Star's kit and what that's all about. Grey Stripe's whole thing is revealed. So many secrets come forth, and it's, incredible. For being, the midpoint of Arc 1, it is an incredible job of wrapping up so many plot threads, but at the same time, leaving a bunch of new ones open for further exploration as the series continues. And, the conclusion of this book being that Fireheart is not only now the deputy of the clan, essentially second in command of a group of people, but also that his best friend, and in essence his only real friend in ThunderClan, is now leaving to go be another clan with his kids after his wife died, his first wife, I guess. That's just an incredible way to end a book, and it's really sad and heartbreaking, and you're obviously asking what's gonna happen next, and I think this book does an incredible job of doing that. Moving on to number 2, The Darkest Hour, book 6. The Darkest Hour, as far as like finales go, is incredible. It checks all the boxes. It brings characters together, it finishes storylines, it wraps up basically everything. Like, if this was a one arc series and you never got like an arc 2, arc 3, arc 4, etc., this would be like a basically flawless series. Now, there are some issues with it that leave it out of the number 1 spot. I think, again, there are some decisions that Firestar makes that aren't particularly intelligent. The whole like River Clan thing, you know, that's unfortunate. It's not that it's bad, it's just that I felt like they could have maybe lengthened that out a bit. And also, like, Shadow Clan gets like really shafted in this book, in like opposed to other clans. Like, River Clan has this like whole realization that what we're doing is wrong. Wind Clan has this whole thing. Shadow Clan is pretty much forgotten about. But overall, it is a near perfect finale. Just a few issues. If you want to know more about that, you should watch my video. I'll link it at the end. But there can only be one winner. Only one best book of Arc 1. And if you've been keeping track, you probably know what it is. The best book in the Prophecies Begins, Arc 1 of Warrior Cats, in my opinion, is The Rising Storm. Or just Rising Storm, the 4th book in the series. I love this book. I think it's an incredible way to end, to like continue the story after book 3. You know, everything's out there, all the secrets, and it's basically like the aftermath book. Like, what comes after the grand revelation, the great betrayal? What happens next? And we see that. We see how Fireheart is struggling to be deputy, how he's struggling to be a good mentor, how he's struggling with like the aftermath of revealing that Tiger Claw is evil. And we know Tiger Claw isn't going to go away. He shows up once in the book to like be a threat, but not really ever again. And yet, despite him not really being that present in this book, he still feels like a present threat. You know, Fireheart is constantly afraid of what will happen. Also, Yellowfang. Yellowfang's an amazing character, and her death was truly heartbreaking, but it makes sense. In anything, it kind of brings her story full circle with her sacrificing her life to save another. Like, she is the reason, partly, why Bramblekit survives. In essence, redeeming her from her perceived failures of letting other kits die due to her son. And of course, I have to talk about the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger that Tiger Claw has taken over Shadow Clan and is now Tiger Star is incredible. Is the best cliffhanger I think Warriors has ever created, and truly makes you want to wonder, oh no, what's going to happen next? I want to know. And of course, Book 5 does continue that. It does answer those questions in a satisfying way, but I feel the build up to it and what this book contains is incredible. And obviously we can see like the fire, Grey Stripe returns, you know, Ravenpaw is cool, a little bit of romantic interest with Firestar and Sandstorm. And overall, I think this book does an incredible job of what it sets out to do. Be like low stakes, but still acknowledging the wider threat of the series. And that's why I think Rising Storm is the best book in the Prophecies Begins. But what did you think? What is your ranking? Did you have one book higher? Did you have one book lower? Did you agree with my placement? Or do you think maybe I was wrong? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. See y'all next time.